Hi, my name is Ryan Gate, and today we'll be discussing ASICS and brand equity. Using literature and theory, we will underpin how ASICS have created or perhaps hindered the equity of their brand, and how the milestone markers over the years have contributed to this. So firstly, about the brand itself. ASICS as we know it today was founded in 1947 by Mr. Kiichiro Onitsuka. At this stage, the company was established Onitsuka Co., where he set out to create a sports brand encompassing all communities from the everyday person to the elitist of elite athletes. It was some 30 years later, in 1977, where the ASICS we see today was born. This was due to Onitsuka Co. merging with GTO and Jellic Co. to establish the new brand. However, interestingly, it was prior to the merger where the iconic ASICS stripe was created. This happened in 1966, or 10 years before the formation of the brand. Despite this, the same iconic symbol is still the same symbol which we see today. As time progressed, the presence within the sports industry grew ever stronger, somewhat putting them at the forefront of athletic performance. In 1986, ASICS sponsored Rosa Motor, an aspiring marathon runner. This somewhat boosted their presence in the athletics industry, seeing her become victorious in an impressive series of events. It was then in the 90s where their gel tech sporting apparel took the world by storm, something which is still being seen today in the latest of their products. This leads us to the present day. ASICS continue to supersede their rivals, persistently standing at the forefront of sporting achievements. The brand, which started out as a humble, family-run business, is now arguably one of the staples in athletics and other sports, nationwide, all across the world. Now, despite their impressive story, it is their actions over the years which have landed the brand in the situation it finds itself in today. To reiterate, the premise of this discussion is to establish how their actions have or have not contributed to their global success, and how this has created or detracted from their brand equity. To challenge the credibility of their mission and vision, work from Robertson has been considered. Using an extended version of his model, conclusions have been drawn in regards to how ASICS are envisioned in comparison to other market competitors. To make the model more applicable, axes supporting the organisational goals of ASICS have been taken into account. Resultantly, using the information provided by several respondents, a perceptual map has been created. This map portrays how in the eyes of the public, ASICS are considered to fulfil the needs of all sporting capabilities, whilst also offering a very high standard of quality throughout their products. As a result, this suggests how ASICS have successfully positioned their brand in a highly saturated market, successfully achieving their mission and vision. As a result, this should positively influence brand equity, as in the eyes of the public, their products fulfill the distinctive characteristics they set out to achieve, increasing the likelihood of consumer purchase. The concept of brand positioning links well to the notion of brand identity and brand image. Shiva defined brand identity as how the brand wishes to be perceived by their target market, whereas brand image considers how a brand is actually perceived by the consumers. Keller expressed brand image is directly linked to consumers making associations between the benefits, attitudes, and attributes of the brand. He further suggested it is the benefits which are the rationale of purchasing the brand. Furthermore, recent literature suggests it's consumers who translate brand identity into brand image, which then influences consumer preferences. If we take into account the perceptual positioning map, it is somewhat clear there is a strong overlap between ASICS identity and their image, as they are perceived as one of the stronger brands. Therefore, ASICS have clearly distinguished themselves as a brand, achieving their mission of a high-quality product line. As a result, in the eyes of the public, they have successfully positioned themselves as a strong competitor within the market. This will increase their brand equity, as the positive brand image they have established will positively influence consumer purchasing decisions. To further analyse brand identity and brand image, brand architecture should be considered due to the positive influence it can have on brand equity. By having a fulfilled portfolio, the brand can target multiple market segments, boosting their market share, profits, and equity. Using Aker and Joachim Stahler's model, it is clear ASICS have room to improve. ASICS acquired Hagloss in 2008, but since let them go at the end of last year. In losing ownership of the brand, ASICS have minimised their overall market audience as their own products do not meet the needs of Hagloft's customer base due to the differences in product lines. However, an acquisition which does work well for ASICS is Fitness Keeper. This happened in 2016, and now as a result they have taken some market share away from other fitness apps such as Strava and Apple Fitness. In addition, they also continue to sell Onitsuka Tiger as a separate lifestyle brand of ASICS, diluting the lifestyle brand market segment and increasing their equity. As a result, they have expanded in the House of Brands element of the model. Furthermore, through their sub-brands, ASICS have appealed to the wider audience, playing upon nostalgic marketing through their Onitsuka and ASICS Tiger range. Recent literature suggests a positive correlation between nostalgia and marketing, suggesting ASICS have used sub-brands to strategically build brand equity. Their sub-brands also extend itself to a large range of different trainer types, using ASICS as their main driver brand. Due to their strong brand name and image, this will build brand equity through their good customer receptions and influence in purchase decisions. On the other hand, the house of brands and endorsed brands have a lot to be desired. Very recently, ASICS and CP Company established a linked name endorsement. Whilst this exploits the emerging streetwear scene, using CP Company as a leg up into the market could also potentially create negative, lasting preconceived ideas about ASICS. Whilst ASICS argue it's the perfect new partner, recent literature explores a strong affiliation between extremist football hooliganism and CP Company, creating negative image for ASICS. This flaws the overlap between ASICS' identity and image, decreasing their brand equity. The next stage of the presentation will discuss Keller's consumer-based brand equity model. This will be applied to ASICS as a brand to point out which areas they are excelling in to achieve a high level of brand equity, or conversely, which areas ASICS are hindering themselves in. The bottom of Keller's pyramid introduces the theory of brand salience. In ASICS' case, their long-standing brand name and only subtle changes in their logo of over 50 plus years has contributed to their very strong brand image and identity, resulting in the brand being very recognisable and easily identifiable. Hence, the brand has become a very well known, standing out from the rest. This means customers can easily tell ASICS products apart from other competitors. Romanuk and Sharp explain salience as the likelihood of a brand being thought of in a buying situation. To build on this, work from Vicelli and others concluded a positive relationship between purchase likelihood and brand salience. More recently, in 2021, other studies discovered both brand awareness and brand salience had a positive influence on consumer decision due to the brand being thought of in that situation. This directly links to work from Aker, who posed brand awareness to be a dimension in which to increase brand equity. Therefore, in the context of ASICS, having achieved a very recognisable brand logo and name, in turn they have achieved a high level of brand salience and awareness. As a result, it can be understood this is positively impacting their brand equity and partially fundamental to their success to date. As you progress higher up the model, judgments and feelings are considered. This relates to instant connections and subconscious ideologies which can be established around the brand. These are made within sporting practices when people see their products and logo being used. For example, seeing athletes wear ASICS and use ASIC goods such as sporting apparel and shoes in sports event situations. To link back a landmark athletic event, a prime example of this would be seeing Rosa Mota become the first Portuguese gold medalist in 1998. Keller suggested the judgments elements considered the customers' and personal opinions evaluations of the brand, drawing upon performance and imagery associations. To draw upon the brand identity and brand image section discussed previously, it can be concluded that they have demonstrated a strong brand image due to the connections to a high quality and high customer satisfaction. The quality aspect is something Keller describes as highly important when considering brand judgments. A second factor Keller puts into this category is brand credibility, suggesting judgments are formed by brand expertise and dependability, being sensitive to a customer's needs. Based on the perceptual map displayed earlier, it can be deduced ASICS have formed positive image of the brand associations, supporting potential positive judgments. In addition, their continued success at competitions via sponsored athletes supports their brand's high performance element. This supports the formation of strong judgments being formed by ASICS customers, adding value to their brand. Leading on, ASICS have created a brand that consumers can have relatively strong feelings towards. Their global partnership with World Athletics projects a positive image connecting with all demographics around the world. World Athletics' strong connections to inclusivity for all and world sport also translates well for ASICS, suggesting their products are a strong fit for all consumers and that their brand will support the progression of all customers. These positive feelings created through the image of the brand then stimulate affection and a sense of loyalty by their consumers, increasing their brand equity. The idea of brand loyalty directly links to the top of Keller's CBB model labelled as resonance. Due to their presence in the sports industry for such a long time, ASICS is perceived as a stable, reliable and trustworthy company. This is something Gladden and Milne also highlighted through their model, suggesting reputation and tradition was an organisation-related antecedent to increasing brand equity. This supports the relationship between the brand and the customers, imposing loyal connection between the two. Keller also suggested a sense of community contributes to brand resonance and loyal connection between ASICS and their customers. ASICS have somewhat achieved this through their global partnership with World Athletics. By having this partnership, ASICS directly presents the whole athletics community worldwide, establishing a strong affiliation and association between all of World Athletics audience and ASICS. Initially, Keller's model suggested by moving through each stage of the pyramid and achieving brand resonance, brand value and equity would increase. This ideology is still consistent to date, given recent studies suggesting brand equity is strongly linked to brand resonance. Therefore, as ASICS have achieved this, their brand equity will increase significantly. The final discussion point for suggesting potential recommendations will use the model of athlete brand image. This suggests how brands use athletes to project an image representative of the brand. However, due to ASIC's choice of athletes, their image may be negatively portrayed. ASICS first established their deal with Novak Djokovic in 2018, which on the surface appears to be a credible move. Considering the model and his number one seed status, he certainly fits the criteria for that athletic expertise, a component of the athletic performance which builds brand image. However, looking at the other factors of the model could create conflicting opinions about the image he portrays for ASICS. His aggressive behavioural approach in competition negatively showcases his competition style and sportsmanship, detracting from his athletic performance. Furthermore, the controversy surrounding COVID vaccinations contributes to his poor marketable lifestyle, since he does not appear as a strong role model within society. Recent literature suggests it is the attributes of athlete brand image which strengthen the link with the athlete and increase fan loyalty. By extension, according to Hoyos, it is the loyalty between the fans which increases the consumption of related sport, athletes, and most importantly, merchandise, which eventually leads to the increase in profits. Therefore, by having poor attitudes of athlete brand image, ASICS will suffer from poor fan loyalty and decreased consumption, hindering profits and negatively impacting brand equity. On the other hand, more positively, ASICS also sponsor successful athletes, portraying an image more in line with their mission, vision, and sound body, sound mind ethos. For example, Fred Kerley, silver medalist at the Tokyo Olympics, and 12 times All-American distance runner Emma Bates. Their successes bode well in terms of the model and criteria for athletic performance. Furthermore, Fred Kerley and his early adoption by his aunt showcase an admirable persistence through hardships, building a marketable lifestyle. In the case of Emma Bates, her resourceful, off-grid and humble home contribute to a positive, healthy lifestyle and role model figure image. Taking this into account, and literature discussed earlier, this will create a positive image for ASICS, generating fan loyalty and prompting an increase in their profits. This model also links well to work from Brody, where he discussed brands as meanings. This explores how a strategic advantage can be achieved over others by using deep and diverse meanings to build an image and add value. Keller and Lehman suggest how it is the buyer who is the receiver of brand communications, thereby creating an identification and image for the customer. In ASIC's case, they have been seen to positively fulfill this theory through the image they have built through their partnerships with a range of different entities. Not only have they partnered with athletes like the ones discussed, but also with charities such as Mind and disabled athletes such as Renzi Chokai. This builds equity for ASICS by reaching new demographics, but also through the meaning the image creates. By supporting different demographics, ASICS are seen to suggest that sports and their brand is for everyone, increasing equity through positive consumer perceptions. Finally, the recommendations. The first recommendation refers back to what was discussed towards the beginning of the presentation, where we discussed Aker and Joachim Stahler's model of brand architecture. Due to the strong heritage of ASICS and their family-run construct, there has been little diversity in terms of what their brand architecture portfolio offers. In the brand and house section of the model, we've already discussed how ASICS have used Onitsuka Tiger to increase their equity under a different image. Therefore, it is recommended ASICS extend upon this by targeting Hoka under an acquisition proposition. Hoka are a fastly emerging brand owned by a larger parent organisation within the running athletic market. However, they are a relatively new competitor, only being established in 2009. Furthermore, the value of ASICS supersedes Hoka by almost 4 times. This supports the feasibility of the takeover due to their short lifespan and ASICS' superior financial power. By acting upon this, ASICS would reclaim their market share Hoka has taken from them, increasing revenue through a different brand under the same image, boosting their brand equity. The second recommendation for ASICS would be to build on their global partnerships and sponsors. Whilst ASICS have already experienced successes in this area, exploiting their strong brand name, they have the potential to arguably become a global superpower. As we've already discussed, ASICS have a global partnership with World Athletics and have already been seen to establish sponsorship deals with the Australian Olympic team for Paris 2024. Therefore, the next step would be to sponsor the event itself. Arnold and Thompson suggest how sponsorships can be used as a way of establishing brand loyalty. Furthermore, having their name displayed and attached on such a prestigious mega event translates a very high standard of perceived quality to the worldwide audience. Taking into account word from Keller, if ASICS achieve this, brand awareness and brand loyalty would increase, supporting the increase in brand equity. The final recommendation for ASICS refers to the drawbacks highlighted earlier regarding their partnership with Djokovic and CP Company. As it has been discussed, the negative connotations attached to CP Company regarding hooliganism portrays an image inconsistent with ASICS ideologies. Furthermore, Djokovic and his explosive, disruptive behaviours detracts from his sporting ability and suggests ASICS are suited and resemble those with a maverick-like behaviour. Specifically, these connotations negatively impact the feelings section of Keller's model, as they do not support the feelings of warmth, security and social approval. In fact, his behaviour and CP Company's reputation do quite the opposite. Therefore, it is recommended ASICS suspend their sponsorship with these partnerships and entities and direct their resources elsewhere to add to their positive image. This would build brand associations and contribute to increasing their equity. Specifically, they could direct their resources to the likes of Jeffrey Kamwara, runner-up of London Marathon 2023. Whilst he is sponsored by Nike at the minute, their priorities lie with Kelvin Kiptum, the winner of the event. This creates a great opportunity for ASICS to propel themselves back to the forefront of long-distance running, like they did with Rosenmotor back in the 1980s. Given the overcoming of his injuries and accidents, the model of athlete brand image suggests his marketable lifestyle and athletic expertise due to his role model-like characteristics and impressive achievements. Therefore, this would exchange the factors contributing to bad brand image and associations and build equity through positive consumer judgments and feelings. Thank you all for listening.